The night of April 26, 1986, began like any other spring night in the Soviet Union. At the Chernobyl nuclear power plant, workers manned their stations unaware of the impending disaster. Shortly after 1 a.m., reactor number 4 experienced a catastrophic power surge. Explosions sent a plume of radioactive material into the night sky. The reactor's core was exposed, releasing deadly radiation. The immediate aftermath was chaotic. Firefighters rushed to extinguish the blaze, unaware of the danger. Plant workers struggled to comprehend the scale of the disaster. As dawn broke on April 26, 1986, the true horror of the Chernobyl disaster began to reveal itself. The radioactive plume spread across Ukraine, Belarus, and parts of Europe. Soviet authorities ordered the evacuation of Pripyat. Residents packed a single bag, assured they would return soon. They would never call Pripyat home again. Over 350,000 people were evacuated. They left behind their homes and belongings. The evacuation was a logistical nightmare. The Soviet government eventually poured resources into containing the fallout. Helicopters dropped sand and boron onto the reactor core. Miners dug a tunnel beneath the reactor. Many received dangerous doses of radiation. The invisible enemy unleashed by the Chernobyl disaster, radiation, left a lasting legacy of fear and uncertainty. Invisible to the naked eye, radiation wreaked havoc on the human body, damaging DNA and increasing the risk of cancer. The immediate effects of high doses of radiation were horrific, causing burns, radiation sickness and death. But it was the long-term consequences that proved most insidious. In the years following the disaster, rates of thyroid cancer, particularly in children and adolescents, skyrocketed in the areas affected by the fallout. Other types of cancer, including leukemia and breast cancer, also increased. The psychological toll was immense, as survivors grappled with the unseen threat and the long-term health consequences for themselves and their children. The environmental impact of the Chernobyl disaster was equally devastating. Forests surrounding the plant turned a sickly reddish-brown, earning the nickname Red Forest. Wildlife populations plummeted as animals succumbed to radiation poisoning. The Chernobyl disaster served as a stark reminder of the devastating and long-lasting effects of nuclear accidents on both human health and the environment. Section 4. Nature reclaims its domain life in the exclusion zone. In the aftermath of the Chernobyl disaster, an exclusion zone encompassing a 30-kilometer radius around the power plant was established. This area, once home to bustling towns and villages, became a ghost town, frozen in time. Buildings stood abandoned, their interiors a haunting testament to the lives interrupted. Yet, amidst the desolation, nature began to reclaim its domain. With humans absent, wildlife populations rebounded. Wolves, lynx and wild boar roamed the abandoned streets of Pripyat. Birds nested in the skeletal remains of buildings. The exclusion zone, once a symbol of human tragedy, became an unexpected haven for wildlife. Scientists studying the Chernobyl exclusion zone have been surprised by the resilience of nature. While some species initially suffered from mutations and reproductive problems, others adapted to the radioactive environment. The exclusion zone has become a living laboratory, providing valuable insights into the long-term impacts of radiation on ecosystems and the remarkable ability of nature to recover. Section 5. Ghosts of Chernobyl Canine Survivors. In the chaotic evacuation of Pripyat and the surrounding villages, many residents were forced to leave behind their beloved pets. These abandoned animals, left to fend for themselves in the radioactive wasteland, faced an uncertain fate. Many succumbed to radiation poisoning or starvation, but some miraculously survived. Over generations, these canine descendants of Chernobyl's abandoned pets adapted to the unique challenges of their environment. Known as Chernobyl dogs, they roamed the exclusion zone, scavenging for food and forming packs. Scientists studying these dogs discovered fascinating genetic adaptations that allowed them to tolerate the elevated radiation levels. The Chernobyl dogs, symbols of resilience and adaptation, captured the imagination of the world. Their story highlighted the enduring bond between humans and animals, even in the face of unimaginable adversity. Efforts to care for and study these dogs provided valuable insights into the long-term effects of radiation exposure on animal populations. Section 6, A Nuclear Nightmare Revisited, the 2022 Russian occupation. The world watched in horror in February 2022 as Russian forces invaded Ukraine, bringing the specter of nuclear disaster back to Chernobyl. Russian troops seized control of the Chernobyl exclusion zone, raising fears of a potential release of radiation. The world held its breath, haunted by the ghosts of 1986. Ukrainian staff at the Chernobyl plant, responsible for maintaining the sarcophagus encasing the destroyed reactor, continued their vital work under extremely difficult conditions. They worked tirelessly to ensure the safety of the site, despite the presence of Russian troops and the disruption to their normal routines. Their bravery and dedication prevented what could have been another nuclear catastrophe. The Russian occupation of Chernobyl highlighted the vulnerability of nuclear sites during times of conflict. The world was reminded that the legacy of Chernobyl extended far beyond the borders of Ukraine, serving as a stark warning about the potential global consequences of nuclear accidents and the importance of international cooperation in ensuring nuclear safety. Section 7. Lessons from the Ashes, a legacy of caution and cooperation. The Chernobyl disaster, a tragedy etched in human history, serves as a poignant reminder of the immense power of nuclear energy and the devastating consequences of its misuse. The events of April 26, 1986, forced the world to confront the fallibility of technology and the importance of human factors in preventing catastrophic accidents. The legacy of Chernobyl is multifaceted. It underscores the need for robust safety protocols, rigorous training for nuclear workers, and transparent communication between governments and the public.